gentlemen, this contest is set for 8 rounds in the junior middleweight division. Referee Randy Newman. Introducing first, in the blue corner to my left, he hails from Brooklyn, New York. He weighs in at 152 1/2 pounds, wearing black trunks, a professional record of 9-2, 5 big knockouts. Please welcome Stephan Johnson. His opponent in the red corner from Pensacola, Florida. He is wearing white trunks with a multicolored trim, weighs in at 155 pounds even, the 1988 Olympic silver medalist in the light middleweight division, voted the most outstanding boxer in the 1988 Olympics, undefeated as a pro. Please welcome Roy Jones Jr. Referee Randy Newman.
And Roy Jones accompanied to the center of the ring by his dad, Roy Jones Sr.
#1 defend yourself at all times. Now shake hands and come out of the belt.
Junior middleweight champions in the IBF division. Darren Van Horn, WBC champ out of France, Rene Chaco, and the WBA title holder is Julian Jackson from the Virgin Islands. Roy Jones has a stepped-up itinerary. He feels he wants to be fighting for a title by his 8th pro bout.
That's overly ambitious, I think. I think you should really learn, because even if you accomplish it, then you step into trouble. You haven't learned your craft, and you're in against real champions. Did not work very well for Leon Spinks, did not work very well for Davey Moore, and I don't think it works very well for anyone.
Stephan Johnson in only his 12th professional bout. He has improved his defensive boxing. He's been showing more side-to-side and head movement in recent fights, and has been keeping the lead hand up. In his earlier fights, he was dropping it, continually getting nailed by big right hands, as both Jones and Johnson open out in a feeling-out process here in round 1.
This is exactly what Johnson said he wanted to do. He just wants to box, and willing to just about give away the first 3 rounds just to see what happens after that.
But Jones now right on target as he chases Johnson.
What Jones has, as we saw through all of the Olympic events, is an extremely fast reflexes. He just has a sense of where to throw punches. And even though his distance is not proper right now, he still lands some punches that shouldn't land by all rights. I don't think you can look for Stephan Johnson to do anything dramatic the first round or two, because he just wants to get this guy settled down. Let him get a little adrenaline pumping and get tired a little bit.
Just past the halfway mark of this first round, scheduled for 8. What about an 8-round fight? Second time out of the box for Roy Jones.
Another mistake, I feel, unless you knock the guy out. That's a long way to go. The second time that you step in a professional ring, especially against a guy who is learning his craft every day, sparring with a wonderful champion like Simon Brown. I mean, Simon can teach you a few things. You box with him every day.
Yes, Stephan Johnson turned pro back in July of '87. And over the past year, he has been sparring with the IBF welterweight champ, Simon Brown.
So far, the good part, as far as Jones is concerned, is he's landing more punches, as few as are thrown. But the main thing is he is not excited and going crazy. We saw his opening debut in Pensacola, and it looked like the beginning of the 4th round from the Olympics. He was very wild.
And we are final seconds, first round. So they finish with a flurry. We'll be back in a moment.
Right. You know what you got to do. Here you go, okay?
I got it there. In the back of the head.
Roy Jones was just told by his dad, don't fight for the crowd. You're the best, you know what to do, but don't try to impress the crowd.
See, people listen to this Fight Doctors RX. They read this stuff.
I saw them hunched around the monitor right before the start of the bout. This is round 2. Stephan Johnson in the black trunks and Roy Jones in the white.
And if you followed what I was saying right at the end of that round, just as I was saying that he didn't go crazy, he went crazy at the very last 10 or 15 seconds, but that was all right. It was at the end of the round where he doesn't have a chance to get tired, and he picks up the round. He won the round handily, I thought. So it's Stephan doing what he wants, and Jones picking up that first round. One of the things that has to be commented on is the difference in body size here. Looking at Jones, he looks like a full middleweight. I mean, absolutely full middleweight. The other guy looks like a blown-up welterweight. He is not that big.
And this is listed as a junior middleweight bout. First part of our NBC boxing doubleheader coming up later on Sports World. Vinny Pazienza, the one-time IBF lightweight champion, going against South Philly's Vinny Bergese, along with Sports Fantasy with Len Berman. That'll be Sports World following ringside.
Jones tuning up with his hard jab, throwing hooks off that jab. Nice right-hand lead.
Good combination by Jones.
The other good thing about Jones is when he throws a punch, he means it. Those jabs are hard. The cross right-hand lead just then was hard. There it is again. And again. Oh, they just hit heads very hard. No resulting cut, however. Little bit of apprehension on the face of Stephan Johnson. Now he's felt the sting, and he knows that he's in with a guy that can bang.
And we approach the 1-minute mark. Minute to go in this second round. It is scheduled for 8. Roy Jones in his second professional bout. Coming off his performance in the Olympic Games, Stephan Johnson at 9-2, 5 by knockout.
Right off the bat, Jones, off these first 2 rounds, is looking extremely better than he did in his first fight in Pensacola, where he looked like he was just taking up where he left off in the amateurs. Here, he's beginning to look like a pro. He is punching like a pro. He's keeping his head after he punches.
And again, Jones landing this time with the left hook. Roy Jones stepping up the action here in the second round. We'll be back after these messages.
Roy Jones' last flurry before the bell. Look at that. Right hand and then a left hook afterwards. That's the kind of stuff that knocks people out.
And this is round 3. Roy Jones in the white, Stephan Johnson in the black trunks. One of the problems that Johnson has had during the course of his career, conditioning. He has run out of gas, in particular at the end of the round. Usually looks better earlier in fights than later. And from time to time, and looking at some of the tapes, we noticed that Johnson's mouth has been wide open from the third round on. So stamina may be a factor if Johnson gets to that point.
Well, his stamina is going to be put to the test because he's eating just about a lot of leather. About everything that Roy Jones is throwing is landing, and some of it very hard and right on the button. So he's going to be wearing out Stephan Johnson, whose plan it was to start fighting after the third round, and the way it's going, it's a bad plan.
Look at the difference in terms of experience. Jones, 110 amateur fights in an illustrious amateur career. Johnson only 12 amateur bouts.
Well, I think that statistic is being